Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Fall, and welcome back to the Sputnik Finance YouTube channel. And today I want to give you 5 tips and tricks I want to pass on to you if you're interested in starting an online selling business, a reselling business, retail arbitrage, flipping, whatever you might want to call it. Now, to give you a little bit of background, I've been selling online on and off for about 6 or 7 years now. I love this business and I'm still very much a big part of it. Now, this is not some weird get-rich-quick scheme that I'm trying to push. This is experience that came along after years and years of mistakes in this business. Now, I love online selling. There's so much money that could be made, and especially the focus of this channel is to give you different tips, tricks, ideas to make some passive income, generate a second source of income, especially that the country and the world is still facing a lot of financial hardships. Now, I'm not just talking about your Amazon, your eBay, your Mercaris, which I've sold on all of them over the past years. I'm talking about that this advice can be applied to any of the platforms. If you sell on Poshmark, that could be applied to it as well. eCreator, anything you can think about. Now, we've reviewed a lot of these online marketplaces on the Sputnik Entertainment YouTube channel. I've tried some of them. I haven't tried many of them. And actually, part of today's this channel is I'm going to be starting a brand new online e-commerce store, and I want to take it from January 1st to December 31st of 2021. And I'll give you my full sales reports, cost of shipping, everything, and net profit or loss that I'll come out with it. Hoping, of course, it's going to be a net profit. Now, the first piece of advice that I have for you is learn what you want to sell. If you're interested in selling cosmetics, learn about the top cosmetic brands that are out there. The stuff that currently sells in Walmart, Target, Amazon, Mercari, the stuff that pretty much flies off the shelf. If you want to interested in selling about clothes, don't think about just your Gucci, your Louis, your Prada, your Fendi, the kind of the top name brands, but think about what everyday people wear and what everyday people buy. Now, I've always focused on the electronics / entertainment sector. I'm a geek at heart and I always love computers, tech, video games, camera equipment, and I've been just using a lot of it over the years. I know the good brands in the industry, I know the bad brands, and I know what to sell. I mean, to some extent, anybody can do a little bit of research. You can go to Amazon, top charts, and see what's selling. If you see some weird Chinese knockoff, the chance of it be selling are pretty slim, and your profit margins are going to be a lot lower. So just research of what you're interested in selling, see what you need to list, see what inventory you need to have. Now, the second piece of advice I have for you is to sell on multiple platforms. Now, this piece of advice can be seen as a little bit of self-explanatory. The more platforms you sell on, the more exposure you have, the more visibility, because some people might have an Amazon account, but they might not have an eBay account. They might have a Mercari account and not a Poshmark account, and you want to be on as many stores as possible, because as many more eyeballs you can have, the more potential customers you can obtain. So it's one of those advices that speaks for itself. And the third piece of advice that I have for you is calculate your costs. Now, it's really exciting to get into online selling business. I remember when I first got into it, I did not know a lot about cost of shipping, the materials, the packaging, how much everything's going to cost. But when you list your price, your product and your price, think about how much is that going to cost you altogether. Between the product acquisition costs, if you're buying something and not just selling something from your house, think about how much it's going to be to go and buy boxes, tape, packaging material, like the foam or the plastic bubble wrap. Think about how much paper you need to buy or manila envelopes. How much ink is going to set you back. Ink is not cheap, and that's one of the biggest expenses you will see in this space. And also, most importantly, think about how much you're going to be paying in shipping and fees to different platforms. Now, how these platforms operate, they take a percentage anywhere from 5 to 20% depending on the site and the category that you're selling. That's the industry standard. But also learn about how much is it going to cost you to ship something. It's easy to take a pound and then take it on from there. It does not exponentially go up, but it gives you a rough idea how to price your items. I remember when I first got into this business, I wanted to undercut everybody and say, I'm going to sell something for 40% lower than everybody else just to make a quick dollar. Well, after purchase price and after all the shipping materials and shipping costs, I wound up having a net loss on that product. I would put in these numbers into Excel spreadsheets to calculate the net profit, and I would see, oh, I lost $10, $15, $20. But it's one of those things that you learn as you go. Now, there's lots of great tools for you to calculate your shipping price before sending it out. See how much it's going to cost you from coast to coast. If you're in California, price out how much a pound of item is going to cost you to ship to New York or Florida. If you're interested in doing international shipping, think about how much that is going to cost you as well. Now, I never got into the international market. I always felt it was too much of a headache. Felt like there's enough people in the United States and Canada to maintain my traffic, and it usually was the case. Now, the fourth piece of advice I have for you is establish strategic partnerships. Reach out to retailers, reach out to big box stores, reach out to manufacturers themselves and say, I'm interested in selling your product. I would love to buy X amount of your product. How much can you sell it to me? And find out how much it's going to cost you as the more you sell, because usually the more you buy, the cheaper the cost per unit is. Now, if you're doing retail arbitrage, which I'll be talking about in the next few videos, that is done a little bit on a different margins, but the margins on retail arbitrage are a lot slimmer. So your room for mistakes is a lot smaller versus if you just buy in bulk and you can play around and do all sorts of promotions and deals. Now, fifth piece of advice I feel like is the most important piece of advice I have learned, and I've made many mistakes in this field, is learn good customer service and customer relationship. This is a service industry. You're either selling a good or a product or a service to another person. You're out there serving them. You're providing them something that you have and something that they want. Think about it when you go into a store and you ask for someone to assist you. Let's say you want a can of beans or a banana. They point you to the nearest rack of bananas or beans, and they don't just take that banana and shove it into your face or throw it at you or yell at you. If they don't know where it is, they apologize and they help you look for it. And I get it. Right now there's a lot of high tensions and people might be on edge, especially there's a lot of shipping delays. People might get frustrated if your item gets stuck in traffic. They might say not a nice comment to you, and you might have a reflex to snap back and say something nice back to them. But think about the same thing. When you check into a hotel and there is an issue with your hotel room, when you go down to the front desk about fixing an issue, they don't start swearing back at you. They don't start cursing or throwing a fit. Don't do that. Think about yourself as a hotel manager or a business owner or a restaurant manager, whatever you might want to call it. Like I said, this is a service industry. You're providing either goods or services to other people. If you're selling digital goods, that's one aspect, but if you're actually mailing it out, you're actually providing them a tangible good. Now, these are very brief advice that I have, but I think it's very important for everybody to understand these foundations. If you don't have these 5 pillars, it's a lot harder to maintain a strong business over the years in e-commerce. Now, it can be also a very lonely business. Think about reaching out and setting up networks with other business owners, other online store manufacturers and sellers. Talk to them about the advice and the experience they have learned. I'm only one person with 5 advice for you, but I know some people have been selling since early 90s online, the OGs of e-commerce. I'm sure I could learn a lot from them. Pick their brains. Oftentimes, they're more willing to share than you know. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of these 5 advice. Have you sold things online? What platform have you sold, and what kind of stuff you like to sell? Now, I definitely want to be talking about things like retail arbitrage or other components of e-commerce and online selling in future videos. If you like that idea, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys have a different idea for a video, you guys can always reach me on social media, which you can find in the description. If you like this kind of content, consider clicking the subscribe button, because we definitely want to grow this channel this year, especially with all the ideas we have in mind. If you dislike this video, let us know in the comment section or on social media as well. What did you not enjoy about this video? Hopefully you found this list a little bit helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.